and welcome back to my channel. I apologise the light's not great, but it's late at night because I've just got home from work and obviously it's still dark outside because it's February. We don't like that. But I thought it was a good idea to do my February TBR. I have already started reading it because I know it's in the middle of February, but I haven't been well at the beginning of February and no one needed to hear me try and get a sentence to get out over all the sneezing while I was ill. So we're doing this a little bit late, but we're going to do it now. So the first one we're going to start with the two that I'm listening to / reading right now. And one of them is the second part of the Martin and Stern series by Anna Britton. So I'm reading Close to the Edge. I will pop a picture up just here. So this book picks up from where the first book left off. And I happen to have the first book handy, shot in the dark. So this is where the second book picks up from where, well, I say from when the first book ends. They're at the court where they are sentencing the person that did it in the first book. I'm not going to say who it was, just in case you haven't read the first book yet. But so they're following through and they're finishing off what they started in the first book. And shots ring out outside the courtroom, and both Martin and Stern get shot. And this one is a journey as to how they find out who shot them. And you see a lot more of the personal lives of Martin and Stern, which is actually quite interesting. You know, you can see where they started, how they got to where they wanted to go, you know, why they've made the choices that they wanted to make. Yeah, so that's the one I'm listening to at the moment. I've got about an hour and a bit to go because I started it at the end of January and then I just didn't get a chance to finish it. So I've got about an hour and a half of that one left. So book number 2 is the one that I'm reading. I'm reading it on Kindle, so I will pop a picture up here. So it's called Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I'm probably going to be pronouncing that wrong. But yeah, so this is the first one in I say a trilogy. There's 3 of them at the moment. I don't think they're planning anymore. But the last one's only just come out, or came out in the summer. So there could be more. I don't know. But the third one was picked as a book club pick, and even though they work as standalone, I like to have read everything in order. So I need to have read it in order and, you know, read it in order, make sure that I've read them all, because although the stories may not link together, you may find that the characters pop up in books every so often. So it's quite nice to have read the whole of the series. So in order to read the third one, I now need to read the first one and the second one. So the first one is called Part of Your World. I'm getting it up on my phone so that I can read about what it's about, because although I've started reading, I haven't got that far in it just yet. So it's about, there's obviously a boy and a girl, Alexis Montgomery, and her world is turned upside down because her boyfriend has cheated on her. And she's met, on the way back from her funeral, she rolls her car into a ditch and she meets Daniel Grant, who is a carpenter. He's very good looking. And yeah, the chemistry is undeniable, let's say, straight away. The other thing about it is that he's only 28. And I think she works out to be about 10 years older than him, maybe slightly less. But, you know, she's not sure whether she's looking for a romance, regardless of whether it's an age gap romance or anything like that. So the other thing is that, you know, she falls in love with him anyway. But she is the daughter of 2 renowned surgeons. So she works in the hospital where there's always a Montgomery that works in this hospital. So the life that she leads is very different, but it's very important, but it's not necessarily as important to her as, you know, everyone around her. It's more important for everybody else. It's more important to her parents. It's not as important to her. And I think as we go on, it's about finding out who she is and what she wants to do with her life. So yeah, I'm reading it quite quickly. It's quite I say easy read. It's just really nicely paced, so that, you know, we can actually have it's actually nicely paced so that I can get a hold of the story, and it goes quite quick. So that being said, I say reaching to my thing, I also have number 2, which is called Yours Truly, and this focuses on another character from the hospital that she works in, so someone that she works with in the ER basically. This is a different character altogether. The third book, I'm still waiting for my reservation to come in, so I can't show you I haven't got the actual book at the moment, but I will put a picture of it just about here. What is it? Gonna be nice. Shh. Thank you. Just a bit more. And the third book, yeah, is literally here, and then I will read that one as well, hopefully. It's a big pile. I'm not expecting to get through all of these in February, because February's a shorter month, and at a time of filming it's the 11th, so we're already very nearly halfway through the month. So I won't get through all of these at all. So I'm going to continue going through the list. We will see how this goes. Those ones are probably pretty much a definite because I've either started reading them or they're part of a set. So the next one I really want to read is the only Bridget Jones that I have never read, and it is Bridget Jones Mad About the Boy. I may have to hurry up because I'm going to see this at the weekend. Because, well, why not? You know, it's a good bit of fun. But I kind of want to have read it before I go. I think that's a bit of a tall ask. But to be honest, I'll still carry on reading it after I've finished. It's it's 386 pages and I'm going on Friday. But then, you know, it is like diary entries. So, you know, it might work. Yeah, I think that one might be going to work with me for the next couple of days, just to see what happens. But we'll see how well I get through that. So obviously Bridget Jones is back. No Mark Darcy anymore. That's really unfortunate. I'm quite sad about that, actually, because it's really weird how they're going to do it in the film. Because he's in the film, and obviously they've got 2 kids now. And yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see how they put this into a motion picture. But I'm not 100% sure what the story's about. Doesn't tell you an awful lot on the back either, but it's interesting to see how she works out her life without Mark Darcy, because, you know, he was a huge part of her life. He's obviously the father of her children, and yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a sad one for Valentine's Day. It's going to be a bit of a sad one. We'll see, but yeah. So that one, I'm going to try and read it by Friday. I don't think it's going to happen, but you know. It's good to have faith and it's good to have a dream. That's what we tell each other. So, the only other one that I literally have to read, there's a reservation on it, and it is a library book. So this is the last one that I have to read, or the ones that I'm prioritising. And then there's going to be a few others that are just, if I manage it, that would be amazing. I've got quite a lot of those because some of them have rolled over from January. But the last one that's got a reservation on it, so I'm going to need to read it, is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Dunst. So it's about a faraway island, a secret spell shop, and there's a romance in it. So it's a good bit of romantasy. It's been a bit fluffy the first part of this month, so I'm hoping that this is going to bring a little bit more fantasy to it, because I do like to mix it up a little bit. So, you know, it talks about spells. Obviously it's a spell shop, but it's all about a fantasy world, and I'm quite excited about the world building in this one. A few of the people that I watch on YouTube have read this as well, and they quite liked it, so I'm hoping that means that it's going to be a really good book. But we will give that a try. As I say, it's got a reservation on it before I go on annual leave, so I'm going to have to make sure I've read that by the end of February. So maybe after Bridget Jones it might well be this one next. It might be the book club book I don't get to till March. But then I'm on leave in March, so I've got a good 2 weeks off to actually get a real grip on this to TBR. We might find that I might actually have a bit of a bigger TBR, but then we always know that my vision and my want is always bigger than what I can actually achieve. But you know, you've got to have a dream. So on the next few are just ones that I'd quite like to read this month. I found the Susie Dent crime one. It's based basically around a lawyer. So it's almost like the different part of crime, which is something that I quite like the thought of, because it's very much, it works on the crime and how they tell the story in relation to I'm now reading the blurb. Oh no, actually maybe I might not be quite so right. So it's about an anonymous letter being delivered to the English dictionary, to the Clarendon English Dictionary, and it's more than normal inquiry, so it hints that something bad's going to happen. and it hints at someone who went missing. So we're looking for a missing person. So that'll be fine. That'll be quite fun. Yeah, so I'm quite looking forward to that, and I quite like her. I don't know what it is. I quite like her. I think she's the one that's on Countdown. So, although I don't watch a lot of Countdown, there's something really appealing. This came back into work and I was like, mine. It's not got a reservation on it. It's mine. So the only other one that I really want to make sure I get through is I want to read Fourth Wing, because this is also my my magical readathon map book. So that's this one. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to try and read from the character creation just yet. I might see if any of the TBR actually fits it. So there will be a magical readathon update some point in February, so I will do that. But yeah, so I want to read Fourth Wing because I kind of got the second one and I really want to read the third one. So yeah, this is a rollover from January. I started it, so I'm a little bit... Not that I can find my... Hopefully Goodreads is going to tell me where I got to, because there is no bookmark in this. Oh no. If all else fails, I feel like I might be starting it again. But I wasn't that far through anyway, so it's not the end of the world. So yeah, so that's my TBR for February. So I don't, it's a bit of a mix, it's a bit of a mishmash. I'm probably not going to have read all of it by the end of the month, but, let's see. And then in a minute, I will show you it, doing it in my journal, because I'm going to pop it all on my TBR list, and we'll do that journey bit in but a moment.